jet flying son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. Yeah, we Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my air, trying to resonate to the youth, but ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Face, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the SWAC, pull up where you at. No cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts. My advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeant is with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
Everything I tell y'all, if you not listen, like my baby said. She said, how are there dislikes and I ain't even started talking yet? That's when you know you done made it. That's when you know ninjas just be hitting the dislike button when they see you live. They be like, I can't stand this ninja. Just hit the dislike button off the rip. That's when you know you made it, baby. You made it. Hey, listen, I got a couple announcements before I bring Mr. Kofi on. You know what I'm saying? You know how he gonna hit you. He gonna hit you with the facts, with a little. He gonna sprinkle a little FAMU love in there. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna get you right though. He gonna get you right though. All right. So real quick. All right. First up, if you haven't joined the Off-Script membership, what the hell is you doing? You on here, I'm on here. You looking at me, I'm watching you look at me. You know what I'm saying? How that go? All right. So just join the membership. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see it throughout the stream. My moderator's gonna put it in there. They're gonna get you right. All right, they're gonna get you right. You ain't gotta go to the top tier. All right. If $4.99 is all you got for your boy, listen, that's a nice little Snickers. I can take a Snickers, you know what I'm saying? I gotta split it 3 ways because I got 3 kids, but you know, it's all right. I got y'all. I appreciate y'all. All right, listen. Another announcement. Shout out to HBCU kid. You see me rocking the gear, right? Listen, all right. You see me rocking. I love this company, right? Let me give you a little backstory real quick. Let me give you a little backstory, right? So it's owned by it's a black-owned company by a mom and a son, right? So the son reached out to me. I mean, way when I started. I mean, when I was just really growing, and he was like, "Yo, Scotty, I love the show. I got a brand. Can you support?" I said, "Yeah." I bought a shirt. Like I didn't ask for nothing free. I bought a shirt. Loved it. I've been wearing. Listen. Since I bought the shirt, it comes with one of these baller bands. I've been wearing it since I bought it. Okay. And my girl can confirm that. No lie. I have never taken this off since I bought the shirt back in like 6 or 7 months ago. All right. I love baller bands. That is my ish. Right. So listen, guys, they sent me some new merch. They was like, "Yo, we see you rocking it. We see you love it." They sent it to me for free. All right. But the thing for me is I didn't ask for any of it. All right. They love the show. I love their brand. All I'm telling you is this: go to the top, go to their stuff, check their stuff out. It's really, really dope. I'm telling you, it's really, really dope. I'm bringing it up right now. Here it is right here. Here's their stuff. You can shop. They got the girl giant. They got the boy giant in here. They got the cute kids. You know what I'm saying? They got the adult tees. They got the kid tees, however you want it. I mean, they got different colors. Like mine is red. I bought the purple giant. They sent me the red giant. They got it in gray and black, however you need it or want it. Purple and gold, that was my favorite. Navy and white, however you need it, they got you. All right? We always on here talking about some black on this, black on that. But y'all go support. Y'all want to be HBCU people? Go support. All right, stop playing. All right, take out your money. Go there, buy a shirt. Don't ask for no promo code. Listen. I'm not giving you no promo code. They not giving you no promo code. Go spend $30. All right, I bought a shirt. Go spend $30. All right, it's not that hard. They got some good stuff. I'm telling you, it's off the freaking chain. All right, go get your stuff. Go get your merch now. And you're going to see the sponsorship all through it. So make sure you go get that. All right. Now, to the man of the hour, you already know who he is. FAMU grad. FAMU this, FAMU that. Strike, strike, strike. Rally, rally, rally. Bo. You know who it is. Mr. Kofi Hemingway. Talk to him. What's up, Mr. Hemingway? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, my brother, man? How are you?
I am good. How you doing?
It's homecoming week, boy. It's homecoming week. You wasn't ready, boy.
Hey, listen. Why you talking about? I know you glad it's homecoming week because you barely got out of in a beater.
Whatever.
You barely got out.
I told y'all, Florida people don't do Mississippi like that. Not the backwoods of Mississippi like that. And talking about going up the Itabeta, and they had Klansmen in the trees and wasn't nobody in the stands.
Oh, wow. I was in the stands. Me and Mr. Campbell was in the stands.
We was good, man. We was up 17-0. Everybody good. And then, they just started doing stupid stuff. And start doing stupid stuff on the road. Stupid stuff start happening. And we was in a ball game. But the good thing is our boys is about that life. They can handle adversity. They don't get flustered by the fact. I've seen a lot of teams fold in situations like that where the home team comes back. It seems like it's crazy. You don't have as many people in the stands. They found their energy. They found a way and made it happen. So I'm good.
It was a man. Listen, I'll tell you, it was a great game. It was a great atmosphere. PA announcer didn't work, but it was still all right. It was still good to go. It was a great game. Now let's talk a little bit about that game. So 31-28. Now my main question before I start, the call of the call, 4th and 1.
I'd have kicked the field goal.
I said I would have went for it. You know, because
that's your dumb tail. I would have kicked the field goal.
Go ahead. Explain.
I mean, people keep tripping, right? And they'll go and they'll look at the newspaper, right? And they'll say, "Oh my God, like FAMU gave up 28 points." Well, yeah, they gave up 28 points because MCKAY threw an interception.
Talk about
brought the ball back and put us back inside the 20. So the defense, and then they got a penalty. It
was a 2.
Let me tell my story now.
I'm just saying, tell the whole thing.
So I'm saying with the first interception, they returned it all the way back inside the 10. So the defense, you know, basically they had a penalty, took a half of the distance to the goal. So he just rolled in like 4-5 yards. So bam. Then MCKAY got separated from the ball. They took the ball from him. He got hit, man. He got separated from the ball. They ran that in for a touchdown. So that's 14 points that they gave up. The other one was just basically like 2 plays, et cetera, et cetera. But other than that, had our head coach and staff just decided to methodically do what they do, which is just run the ball at 17 zip, let the clock run, do what we do, make Valley drive the entire length of the field, I don't think Valley scores at all, and we're not even in that situation. That being said, I said all that to say FAMU's defense is still good. So 4th and 1 is still not a gimme. You got a field goal kicker. Now, unless Valley's field goal kicker is sucky and nobody really cares, then if he's sucky, I see why you go for it. If he's suspect, I see why you go for it. But if he's good, you're at home, you got a team on the ropes, kick the field goal. Well, at the same time, we probably would have driven down the field anyway.
My point exceed. Now you're flowing into my point because
we would have driven down the field anyway and won the game.
In your field goal kicker, I've seen him make 60 yards on TikTok like it's nothing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you're not listen, for me, in what Coach Dancy is trying to build down there, you have to show a team how to go win the game. And if we're being 100% honest, I'm at the game. I don't care what y'all talk about on YouTube. I don't care where you saw it at. I'm at the game. The hole was him and Jesus. He slipped. That's it. I mean, it's a perfect call. It's there. He slips. It's whatever. Now, what probably would have happened, and I can honestly say this, is that they get the first down. They probably take more time off the clock, and then they go kick the field goal, and then you have less time to drive back down and do that. I think that's what have happened, and I would have been okay with that because I think at that time it might have been like less than 3 minutes, maybe 2:50, 2:45, something around that. You kick the field goal. Bishop Bonnet has been on fire the last 3 drives, could not be stopped. So I'm not about to give them the ball and them do what Bishop Bonnet just did, and then they go win the game like that. So I love that mindset. Your offense is what got you here. Jelani, number 4, Caleb, number 22. Them boys they've been working. They've been fighting.
Get it. I get it, but it's just like that fake field goal that FAMU ran against Alabama A&M right before the half, right? We take it. If he scores, we're up, okay?
Yep.
But guess what? It didn't work. So now we sitting there like, well, dog, you just should have kicked the darn field goal. Then we would have been down 1. It wouldn't have had all that drama or whatever. But my point is, people trip out. I think every coach goes through that whole process. Bill Belichick a few years ago was playing the Colts in Indy.
Oh, yeah.
The Colts came back. They was running up. Peyton Manning had him on the ropes. It was 4th and 1. Bill was like, my defense is not stopping these Negroes. Anyway, I'm going to go for it for 4th and 1. They didn't get it. So now, you know what I'm saying? You sitting up there like, blam. So every coach has been there. I remember Dallas in Philly went for it 4th and 1, didn't get it. 4th and 1 is just not a gimme in any situation. It's just one of those things. For me, I'm a kind of more or less, unless I'm really hyped up and, had my lottie toddy or whatever they call it, hottie toddy, whatever.
Hottie toddy.
Had that going, I might have gone for it, but at the same time, I understand your point in that the coach is trying to build a winner, wanted to show that that heart, should they go for it, get the team to execute. They just didn't. So that's the bottom line.
So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you said execution. Let's segue into your quarterback, Mr. I can't execute.
That's not his name. His name is RASEAN MCKAY. So you're not gonna disrespect my QB now.
Yeah, listen, Mr. Kofi. if he listen,
that wasn't. Now let me say this. Let me say this. Okay.
Say it.
RASEAN, and I'm not making excuses for him.
You are.
Okay. I think that he is capable. The 2 interceptions that he had were bad decisions. The second one, Coach Simmons should have made the adjustment coming out of timeout, and he owned that. They called timeout right before the third. I think it was 3rd and long. And instead of changing the play, which is what he should have done, he didn't do that. And consequently, Valley made the adjustment and got an interception. They got them back in the game.
Yeah.
The first one shouldn't have been a darn pass play at all.
He shouldn't have thrown it. Should have thrown it.
But it shouldn't have been a pass play. We are inside their 20. We're killing them with the run game. Run the freaking ball. Just run the ball. Run the freaking ball. You got Jennings. You got Bonnet. They on fire. Run the ball.
Actually, if we're being honest, the first half, your running game wasn't on fire.
It wasn't on fire, but we're inside the 20, and rather than turn it over into the hands of RASEAN MCKAY like that, just run the ball.
Not Mr. Turn it over RASEAN MCKAY. Turn over apple pie.
Turn the ball over that much now. You're not gonna give it all like that. Now. He don't be doing that. He came into the game with 1 interception on the season. I get it, but it wasn't a good throw.
So listen. So let me set the scene right. So me and Mr. Campbell, we at the game. He's a FAMU grad. You know, I'm just sitting there. We just talking, chatting it up. And it's 17-0. And the game is, dwindling down. I tell it before the pick, 2 plays before the pick, I said the only way Valley gets back in this game is if MCKAY lets him into this game. He throws
MCKAY, that was the coaching staff. Let me be
sir.
clear.
No, sir. Hold up.
It was the wrong play call. They had a timeout. It's 3rd and long. They should have made an adjustment. Valley made the adjustment.
No. You're up. See, this is what happens when you're offensive play caller and you're offensive guy. You're up 17-0. You're feeling it. You're like, okay. They haven't stopped us. They haven't crossed the 50. They didn't even cross the 50 pretty much in the first half, but one time. So you're feeling it. You can't get mad at the offensive coordinator because you're feeling it. You like, our defense is rocking everything. What happened is MCKAY stared down the receiver. Looked him down like he owed him money, right? Looked him down. Number 6 buzzed the flat. Took it back to the crib. He didn't take it to the house, but took it to like the second 2-yard line. They get the touchdown, right? The very next play, RASEAN gets tackled, fumble. The D-line catches it in the air, so technically it's an interception. And he runs it back in. It's 14-17.
Look,
so
bro,
I'm telling you.
You know, like when James Evans died, I was sitting at my house like, damn. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like,
man.
What in the world?
It's funny.
Run the freaking ball. Just
funny.
run it. It works for us in this season. Now, MCKAY going forward, he's still got to make plays in the air because they're going to start putting people in the box. Grambling's definitely going to do it. They're going to blitz us like crazy. And they're going to put all kind of pressure on him. So we're going to have to be extra physical going forward, especially with these next 2 games with Grambling and Southern back-to-back. So we gotta be able to bring it, and he's going to have to make some plays in the air, and that's the bottom line.
I'm gonna say this, and just all jokes aside, like I said in my Baller and Should Have Stayed at Home awards, is the one thing I do like about RASEAN MCKAY. I cannot fake his demeanor. I love it.
He ain't shaking now. He ain't gonna break.
Yeah, he is not that. He is not that guy. Like, he will be like, "Yo, let's go. I got you." Like I love that. Like, even when you're making mistakes, he's not the pout and mope and go walk in a corner type guy.
Slam his helmet down. He ain't that dude.
He's not that. He's not that, and I have to be honest. I absolutely love it. He's still right by the coach. Took his butt chewing like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta respect it. Like, no matter how much fun I make about Rasean McKay, like, his moxie is real. Like, he's for the smoke because you can see how he takes it. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta respect him on that. So I definitely give him kudos for that. And that's me seeing it with my own 2 eyes.
Right.
All right. Going forward, your rivals that have been mollywopping you for the last 8 years. Where do they go from here, Mr. Coach? Where does?
Well, first I want to say, obviously, Reggie Theus and them decided that they're gonna let the man finish out the year.
Okay.
But people that have been following that program have seen the program slowly decline when Sims took over. So this is not an overnight thing. I think even in the MEAC, they would have difficulty winning a ton of games. I think Howard would give them some problems. I think that
Norfolk State definitely
would. South Carolina State already did. So it wouldn't have been a cakewalk in the MEAC either. So the thing is, with Coach Sims, I think what people fail to realize is when there is a change in regime, when there is a change in leadership at the hierarchy of the university, that level of instability will affect your football program. And that's specifically what happened at Bethune-Cookman. They had all that drama with the Wells Fargo, and I hope the 100 puts it on the field at some point. But I'm just saying, just the whole Wells Fargo thing with the dorms, and then they had a change with the board, people going through all of this stuff. They had a change with the AD, who was the most stable AD in HBCU sports.
Wow.
They decided, okay, well, he's gonna go, and I'm like, bruh, like, this is crazy. So you have all that instability. When stuff like that happens, it messes with your compliance, it messes with your weight training, it messes with your schedule. In the midst of a darn pandemic, you making all these crazy darn decisions and stuff like this, and it affects the program. And so you're getting what you're getting. I think what Bethune is seeing, in addition to that, is the SWAC is really not a bad conference. So every week, if you don't bring it, you're going to get your tail whooped. And that's what they're dealing with.
That's a nice segue to another butt whooping that happens. My PV and Southern.
We don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this. I told you the last time that Prairie was the dark horse in the darn West, right?
Yeah.
But then in addition to that, here, the Southern's AD screwed this up. Okay. And he screwed it up because they got in a rush trying to hire somebody after Odom's left. For me, you taking a guy with an interim dude to come in and run your program who's never run a real program, a high-profile program like that. You couple that with this ridiculously tough schedule, and you're getting what Southern is getting right now. Does Southern have the athletes? Absolutely. But I looked at that schedule early on last year. Even Odom's would have had trouble
coming out
navigating this. This is a murderous road schedule, bro. They started out with Troy, got kicked to sleep. Then they played who else?
McNeese. They played McNeese really well.
They should have beaten McNeese, but they didn't.
Yep.
So that was a sign there that things were
a
little rocky. Even with the experience and the stuff that they had and the players that they had, things were a little rocky. But that's what you get when you have an interim coach. I thought that the guy from Miles was going to get it. I thought that they would have gone with somebody, the Bowie State guy. They were trying to reach out to Connell Maynard, who I don't think would have done any better with this darn schedule. And now the word is Ed Reed. After the season, they're going to be making some overtures towards him, who I think would be a perfect fit if he wants the job.
Perfect fit. My thing was like, okay, Mr. Coffey, let me ask you this though. You're hiring somebody in May because they gave the same excuse to Dion when he came in this spring and everybody was getting on him for the spring ball. And they're like, well, how much are you going to do? If
you hire a real or a full-time head coach, it helps your recruiting. And then the fan base is like, okay, well,
give him a year.
A brand new guy.
Yeah.
so we can ride this out. So the mentality is different, man. We got Ed Reed, man. You wait till the spring, bro. We gonna be bringing in our 4, 5 stars. You know how Southern Knights be talking and stuff. They be talking all day long, man. We got these 4, 5 stars coming in from New Orleans, boy, bruh. You know, we got the 4 and 5 stars coming in from New Orleans, bruh. And we finna do X, Y, and Z. So it would have only been a matter of time. Jaguar Nation would have been much patient, but right now they got his name. They probably got a website up by now. They're ready for him to go.
Oh man, okay, but listen, I think I won't blame Southern for how they did it. They put interim on him, so you already knew. Listen, and I said it when he got the job. I said your floor. Not the ceiling. Your floor is the SWAC championship, because Odoms has been consistent. Even though he's been losing to Alcorn, he has consistently been getting you there. So you can't tell me and he leaves you the same team that he just almost went back to the SWAC championship in the spring if they beat UAPB. So it's like, bro, you didn't have much you didn't have no wiggle room. It would have been different if it was like a Grambling situation in the spring where you didn't win nothing, nobody expected anything from you, and then you get an interim coach and he just, you go 6, 7 games, you're like, whoa, where is this
that
coming
whole
from?
Interim thing on the collegiate level only works if it's mid-season. That's the only reason I would go with an interim, because it affects your recruitment. Because now you don't have a head guy. You don't have a head guy to look out there and recruit, because now if I'm recruiting against something, like, man, they don't even have a darn head coach. Why would you go to Southern? You don't even know if he's going to be there by the time you get there. So I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm busting Southern in the mouth now. Hey, son, you're a 4 and 5. Why are you even considering Southern?
Facts.
You might as well come over here. They don't have a head.
They don't got a coach. They don't got a coach. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I cannot not.
So then you start going into the whole thing. The athletic programs in shambles. They don't know what they're doing. You might as well come on to Florida A&M and the highest of 7 Hills. Blam. So that's what happens right there.
Blam.
Blam.
Will Packer, Kevin Hart's, ESPN First Take. Blam. Come on.
There we go.
Yeah. Listen, hey, while you playing though, I hope y'all recruits are visiting for your homecoming, because God, dog, y'all should have at least about 150 people there. If Dion had 200, y'all need at least about 100, 150. With all the celebrities going down there,
I want to say Coach Simmons is doing a bang-up job regarding the recruitment, and he's been bringing guys in all year long. Now, he's not the rah-rah advertise, let everybody know what's going on with that. But it's going to be a record crowd. We got some 4 and 5 star kids coming in. So, we got 3 stars. We got some no stars. And people trip out over the darn stars. But what's my man's name? Tyreek, that plays with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He ain't have no stars.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
He didn't have any stars coming out of high school. So a lot of that stuff, there's some 3 stars that made it. There's some 3 stars that didn't make it. There's some 4 and 5 star kids that didn't
make it. Yeah, you're right.
That didn't make it. That's a bunch of hype. I believe it. What's more important is when you do the research on the kid is hungry, the kid works hard, and the kid has talent. When you see that and they're willing to put that work in, that's the kid that you want for your program. But that 4 and 5 star thing does get eyes. It does sell tickets. It does get people excited about it. And I'm telling you, Willie Simmons is doing an amazing job when it comes to recruitment, and we're going to be fine.
We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. Now, listen, I've called Alcorn. Watching Alcorn is like watching paint dry. I'm so sorry. Like, listen, it is not entertaining at all, but they win. I call them the Spurs of the SWAC, right? You know what they're going to do. They do the same stuff. They run, they throw, they run, they throw. They play solid defense. Nothing about it is like, oh my God, other than Felix doing something crazy in the pocket 1 or 2 times. Explain to me where you see Alcorn going, and
you're gonna have to beat Alcorn, man. I think people underestimate that heart of a champion, and they've got that whole moxie. They've got a team returning. I do think Prairie View's gonna beat their tail, but you're gonna have to beat them, and that's just the bottom line. I think that they are a formidable foe. They know how to win games, and they messed around and let them get a few games in a row, so they've gotten their rhythm back. They understand what they need to do to win, and they're going to play you all 4 quarters. So if you do not play your A game, they're not going to be overcome by the moment. They're not going to be overcome by your crowd. They're not going to be overcome be overcome just by playing in front of a bunch of people. So they're a solid team. They're well coached for the most part. I do see flaws. They are beatable, but at the same time, the teams in the SWAC got to do it, and I haven't seen it done yet. So you're gonna have to bring your workman's hat if you're gonna beat Alcorn, and that's just the bottom line. Now, Texas Southern is coming. Let me go on and say that Texas Southern is coming right on down the road. So next year.
That's my guy. I love me some Andrew Body, man. He's dope. I like him.
They coming, man. They coming. So and they've got those Texas athletes. I like the direction of the program. They've got support from their alums. Stray hands behind them. They're gonna be. I wouldn't be shocked if they're top 3 in the SWAC West next year.
That's a good. I think that's where they're headed. But for me, watching this game, the only word I can come up with is mistakes.
That's what young teams do. They do stupid stuff. Almost, just like that. Almost. You almost got there.
I'm just watching it. My head started hurting. I'm like, how you get in the red zone and then he's snapping the ball to him like he's 7'2", like he's Shaq. I'm like, when did this start? Wait. What is going on? It was just one thing after another. Just one thing after another.
Do, bro. That's what they do.
Alcorn does his thing, and they pulled it out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like the Spurs, they just end up winning. I don't know. They're just like, dang, how many backboard shots you gonna make, Tim Duncan? Like, okay, just keep doing what you're doing. All right, yeah, your top offense, your top 3 offensive teams in the SWAC. We can just take.
I have to go with Jackson State because they are efficient. They do what they do. Now, a lot of their points.
Is this in order? 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. What are we doing?
So you get me off things. So I want to say right now the best offense in the SWAC right now in terms of efficiency. I'm gonna go with Jackson State 1. Okay. I'm gonna go with Prairie View 2. I'm gonna say Alcorn 3 for right now.
Okay.
Valley's not better right now. We're not better or more efficient. UAPBs, A&M's, no. Alabama State's not there. Cookman's definitely not there. Texas Southern's not there yet. Southern University's a dumpster fire. No. So
I gotta go 1 PV, and it's because they've done it longer, but they do it in, they're more balanced than Jackson State.
Now, what I will say, I do think that Prairie View's QB, I think Pass he's more mature than Shadur is right now. But what I will say is Prairie View hasn't necessarily faced a physical strong defense other than Grambling's. If they were to go on, I'll say after the Alcorn State game and after they play or if they get an opportunity to play Jackson State, you'll really see a firm test and everything regarding how they're doing. But even Southern's got athletes, bro. So I mean, Prairie View's offense is humming pretty nicely right now.
My thing with Southern is, like I said in the pre-match, I just said they're not physical, and you can see it over different games. They're not a physical team. They try to look physical. I don't know how that works. They've
got the athletes, bro. The way that team was balling at the end of the year, in the spring, you couldn't have told me that they would be necessarily this right now.
I think for me, it's PV's balance. That's the thing for me. Like.
They can throw it and run it. I agree.
They can throw it, they can run it. And once again, I love Jawan's pass. Now, I think Shadur is a more complete quarterback than Jawan. I think Jawan, if you're talking about Jawan, it's his ability to buy time. He has the best deep ball in the SWAC. I mean, point blank, period. He has the touch. But that intermediate game for him is really rough. And you saw it with the picks that he threw. They were all short-term passes. That's not his thing. But I do like his poise. I do like his ability to buy time. And he doesn't look to run. He looks to throw. That's his thing. He does want to throw that ball with Mullins and all them boys back there. And that number 6, Ladinian Brooks. Oh my. that boy is like the Alvin Kamara of the SWAC. Like it's what, however you want it, he can give it to you. You want to run for 100 yards? You want him to catch for 90 yards? Like it don't matter. And his speed is just all out of this world. So I would go 1 PV. I would go 2 Alabama A&M because of the fact of because of what they have. And then I have to go 3 Jackson State because I'm just basing it off strictly offensive, not a whole team thing, just what they can put up and how they can put it up. I got to go 2 Alabama A&M and I got to go 3 Jackson State. That's my thing. But I think that 2 and 3 to me is really interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you could put Jackson State 2, you can put Alabama A&M 3, you can put them 2, 3, whatever like that. But that's just me. You know, I know I'm about to get ate up in the comments, but it's okay. Hey, listen, we are taking live calls at the end of the discussion. Make sure you get your calls in, all right? Ask Mr. Kofi, ask me whatever you want over the week or whatever.
There is one other participant in the conference.
All right, so we're taking calls at the end of this, all right? So looking forward to next week, all right? You know I'm going to save your game for last because, you know, that is what it is. Is this like the Muck Bowl now? I mean, I know it's called the Magic City Classic, but it feels like it just became the Muck Bowl. And if I don't know, I don't know.
It's always good to have a classic game, you know, where both teams are hot and really, really doing well. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I think you can't take the luster. You know, we're going to sell out Alabama because I don't go to their school or whatever. So I'm going to say what I got to say. But at the same time, the Magic City Classic is a hot ticket. It's going to always be a hot ticket because Alabama just simply loves football, and it's a huge event, and people are going to be there. What I'm looking for, Donald Hill-Ely, like Conor Metter just signed in addition to his agreement and stuff, right? So he's getting more money. So he's not in danger right now. But Donald Hill-Ely, if he doesn't win this game, Bama State will have a new coach next year.
Oh, wow. Now, my question would be for you is, what are you looking to see in this game from both teams? Because for me, I want to see Crawley take the next step because I feel he's there. I like, man, seeing him play against Jackson State. It's there. But when I was talking to a quarterback coach, and we kind of saw the same thing when he's under pressure, he doesn't stand tall and deliver. He kind of rolls out and kind of throws it.
People be sitting up there talking about, oh, well, you know, he can't do it. Let me see you get your behind back there and throw the ball while all these people running at you and stuff. Now, you get paid to do that. You got a scholarship to do that. I get it, right? Bama State's running game, I'm looking for them to establish the run against Alabama A&M, and I'm looking for Alabama State's defense to apply pressure to Mr. Glass and put him under extreme duress, and I'm looking for Bama State to win the game methodically. Now, if they don't turn the ball over, they'll be fine.
All right. So for me, I got breaking news for this game. The DC for the game is Coach Boulware. So they have Alabama A&M has made the change from Eastman to Coach
Boulware from Florida State.
I believe so. If I'm not mistaken, I believe so. I haven't done a full.
Here's the deal. It don't matter how they line up. They can do whatever they gonna do. Okay, Alabama A&M's personnel has not been good. It's what you laughing at, man. You just tripping out. Their personnel is not all that great on defense. They're not fast in the secondary, so they can be exposed there. Like that's really the deal right there. I know how people scheme. Like what's my man's name? That pervert that used to coach at Penn State. What's his name?
Joe Paterno.
No, not Paterno. Wasn't no pervert.
Oh,
assistant Sandusky.
Oh, my bad.
Sandusky could scheme, you know, and put his slow people in position to make plays. And they ended up playing good, solid, fundamental football and beating the University of Miami, which to this day is like, I think, one of the biggest upsets in the championship game. But I don't think it's going to work this game.
Listen,
I think they'll come out with a ton of energy. I think they're going to have some measure of intensity. They've had an additional week to just sit there and scout and watch film and see what the other team is going to do. I just think that Bama State is a better team this year, especially up front. And I think that that's pretty much the difference. The only thing, if Bama State loses this game, I'm putting this loss on Donald Hill either because they had enough time to get it together.
Okay, my thing with this game and switching up the defensive play caller is simply, it's always like if you're okay, my same thing I said about TC Taylor, right? When you're somebody like TC Taylor who's done this job before and has been in that position before, you've already been coming up with ideas to make it better because you've been seeing what they've been doing, you seeing what they've not been doing. So you're like, man, if it was my way, and I think that you come in with the mindset, okay, I know what you can't do. I know what you can do. I know what you can't do. And you start moving it accordingly. So for me, my thing with Alabama A&M has always been one or two things. You have to do one or two things with what you're doing on defense. You either have to blitz and mess up the timing or sit back in zone and blitz. But you can't, your front four is not that good for you to just drop 8 every time or drop 7 back every time and just be like, oh yeah, we're going to get there with no. You have to apply more pressure because of the fact you don't have the athletes to just beat them with the front four. So what I'm hoping to see is a lot more pressure put on the quarterback and a lot of less time for the DBs to have to cover. That's what I'm hoping to see. But
all of that works if Bama State's a passing team. They're not. They're more, you know what I'm saying? They're not a passing team. They've got to establish the run. They stop the run first. You can D them up maybe on third down and keep that kind of stuff going. So that's that. If Bama A&M's key to winning this game, they got to stop the run. I haven't seen them do it all year, so I want to see what they got going. What they're going to do, run blitz and
hey, do what you got. Hey, you're going to have to do something. Going to have to do something. Now, coming up next, Jack State at Valley.
Jack State's going to beat the crap out of Mississippi Valley.
I'm super excited to see
Deion's back. And let me tell you, them people in Ida Beta hate Jackson State. When I tell you they hate Jackson State, I mean they hate Jackson State in that Delta. We did an interview with a few of their people last week, and we're like, hey, who do y'all hate more than who y'all hate, Alcorn or Jackson State? They was like, listen, man, we hate Jackson State. I'm gonna tell you right now, bub, we straight up hate Jackson State. Now everybody in the state just hates Jackson State. We hate Jackson State. We hate all of them. And, he was just like, we was matter of fact, like talking on the barbershop, just, bro, we hate Jackson State. In fact, we was like rooting for y'all to come to conference and just beat the crap out of Jackson State when y'all played them in Miami. And when y'all didn't do that, we was like, damn, we didn't beat Jackson State. And y'all didn't beat Jackson State. And it was like, damn. But guess what? Our boys,
my God,
they come up in here, boy. I'm telling you, boy, we're gonna have a ton of people up in here. Them people hate Jackson State, and that's the truth.
I listen. If this is how I see it. They might get blown out. They probably will get blown out.
Jackson State. Then look, if FAMU had just stuck with the darn game plan, this game would not have been close.
It wouldn't.
They got fancy.
If you had Lonnie Easton at quarterback, it definitely wouldn't have been close.
It would not have been close.
Yeah.
This game will not be close. Provided J-State comes and they just play methodical ball. They just play their game. This Jackson State by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. My thing is this. Hopefully, listen. If I'm Valley, I'm praying that Shador turns into Rashawn, just hoping that he turns back into Rashawn. That would be my first. That would be like, ooh, thank God. I'm like, oh man, now we got a chance. All right.
Now Valley's defense is capable.
Legit. It's legit, but
they are capable.
But at the same time, if I can see Rashawn McKay had the receivers on FAMU were eating up the middle of the field, and I can only imagine what Shador is going to do to them boys with those receivers.
I'm telling you. When you go to the Delta, that grass is, first of all, just a little different. So
I walked on it.
It's a little different. So getting used to that whole element and that environment, just depending on what their mental state is. If Jackson State comes to play, if they're approaching this thing like Alabama A&M, it'll be another blowout score. Jackson State by 28 points at least. Jackson State killed them in the spring. And I think that's going to be a motivating factor for Mississippi Valley. coming out. I think Valor's going to come out with a ton of intensity and a ton of energy, but they're not a better team than Jackson State. And if Jackson State just does what they're supposed to do, this game will not be close.
I agree. I would have to agree with you on that. Full-fledged, hearted agree. Let's see what we got. Another Muck Bowl. UAPB at Texas Southern. I really think Texas Southern has a high capability of winning this game if they don't have the mistakes.
UAPB appears to have imploded. I'm going with Texas Southern.
The thing for me is I never when people always, like, a coach used to tell me, he's like, a certain loss can really affect the team. I really believe that 1 point loss to Alcorn really had them nosedive, and they just have never rebounded off of that. It just, because they look like a completely different team from that game and going forward.
It wasn't just that. It was just, the games after that followed that. They had another loss at Alabama State, and then you start to believe and come to the realization maybe we're not as good as people said that we were. Alcorn, again, people tripping out, but Alcorn and FAMU had not played a football game in over 600 days. That sort of thing affects your rhythm. It affects your ability, it affects your execution. So when Alcorn came out against Central, that wasn't the Alcorn that you're seeing right now, because their rhythm hadn't come back yet. It wasn't that level of confidence that we're used, and that level of execution that we're used to seeing. But that's what happens when you don't play games like that. That being said, UAPB should have beaten Alcorn when they had the chance. And, I do agree that could have affected it. But, I mean, you got a whole slew of games, man, to win. And UAPB has not shown up for nary game since that Alcorn game, not nary one.
Nah, but to me, it could be a lot of it could be a lot of mental stuff going on with that team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
don't think they're as talented as they thought that they were. I think that they've got some speed. I think that they've got some playmakers, but they're feeling they're getting beat up front. They're getting beat up front, and when you get beat up front, you're not going to win a whole lot of games.
I see them being beat more in the back end. And I thought their secondary was going to be the strongest part of their team, if I'm being 100%.
But if you're not getting pressure on the QB, even if you've got a halfway decent secondary, those guys are only slated to cover. If the guy's back there and he's taking 4 or 5 seconds to throw, he's gonna make a throw. He's gonna make a play.
That's facts. My thing is, UAPB gotta let that cover 0 go. They gotta let that. Listen, whoever's your defensive coordinator, tell him to delete that, bro. Your cover 0 is not it. All right, just let that go. Let's let that go. All right, couple more. We about to get up out of here. Take some calls. Alcorn State at Southern. Now, Lord knows this game would have been probably one of the biggest games if Southern actually would have won against PV. It's still a big game because it's still a rivalry. From the East and the West days and the SWAC championship days. What I'm really looking forward to see is how Southern bounces back. And I want to see if Alcorn, being the Spurs that they are, continue to march on down the field and watch paint dry and watch them win games.
That's all you're going to hear during the game. The Braves, Alcorn is just a better team than Southern. Now, it's a rivalry game. I get anything can happen. I would be dumbfounded. I'll be dumbfounded if Southern found a way to win that game.
I wouldn't. Honestly, I wouldn't, because the only positions on this team that Alcorn is better at is quarterback and receiver. That's it. Their D-line is not overly better than Southern's. Alcorn's O-line is not overly better than everything else is a push for me.
It's not the talent that dumbfounds me. It's the fact that you would have an interim coach beating McNair. That's what I'm looking at. Is he going to find, because see these little decisions, even against Texas Southern, the little things, the stuff that you don't see, the stuff that you see in your practices, the stuff that you see, the confidence level, the measure of communication, the structure, all of that stuff goes into how a team comes out ready to play, how they're coming out ready to execute. Those are the things that go into a program that everybody's kind of like, you don't see, but it's a major part of what happens.
I would now, if that's probably the biggest edge that they have to me in this game, other than Felix Harper playing quarterback. For me, I would like to see Southern use Ladarius Skelton a lot better than listen. And I'm a Zach Grossi fan, so if you're watching this, my boy, I'm a fan. But my thing is, you can't spit in my face and tell me it's raining. All right. You said Ladarius Skelton's going to be Taysom Hill. My boy, he ain't played a lick of receiver. He ain't played a lick of running back, tight end. Who is putting a quarterback at kick return? If he can do a damn kick return, he can play receiver. He can be in the slot. He can be a running back. Get him on the field, because anytime he's on the field, there's a possibility he can also throw the ball. So you got to keep that in mind.
And let me say that even with that, you have to know, I want you to picture yourself as Ladarius Skelton right now. How would you feel?
I'll be hot. I'll be mad.
Okay, so that's you, right?
Yeah.
Ladarius is hot. And if Ladarius is hot and Ladarius has been a leader on that team, how do you think that's permeating throughout the locker room? Southern's only motivation with this game, because they done lost it with the darn interim staff and stuff.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. The only hope that Southern has to win this game is that we hate Alcorn so much that we're going to give it our very best effort to try to win this game for our fans and for the sake of Jaguar Nation. That is it. If Ladarius is sitting on the bench and stuff like that, that's the type of stuff when teams fall apart. I guess that's a title for a show, I guess, when teams fall apart.
I'll give you the royalties.
Yeah. I just don't see it, bro. Now, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Southern can do it.
Yeah.
But the odds are not with them. It's going to be a ton of Alcorn State people there. It's right up the road. It's 3.5 hour drive. They're not going to be phased. The band's going to be there. They're going to feel, bruh. I mean, it's not looking good for this.
Well, I'm going to be at the Magic City Classic, so if anybody see me, go ahead and pull up.
The Muck Bowl.
The Muck Bowl. Go ahead. I'm going to be at the Muck Bowl. Listen, I might see a coach get fired on the field.
Man, Donald Hill either better win this game. I love him.
Oh, man. Listen, I might see a coach get fired on the field. Listen, and I'm going to be reporting live. I'm like, babe, get the camera. Get the camera. Reporting live was here, me, Scotty, live on the field at Muck Bowl. I currently have seen Donald Leary not get on the team bus. I say again, I have not seen Donald Leary get on the team bus. I'm telling you, for real, bro. Last but not least, it's not my game of the week, but it's your game of the week. Grambling State, Florida A&M. You know what it is. It's homecoming. Do they come in to brag and break that which I got like the longest home win?
We got a 9-game winning streak at the crib.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. Everything boils down to FAMU just playing a clean game. FAMU plays a clean game, it's a wrap. FAMU doesn't play a clean game, it's gonna get complicated. They can definitely not go out there and play the way that they did last week, because they will get beat. That being said, them being back in Bragg in front of a packed house, what I think is probably going to be a record crowd. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere. FAMU's going to get back on track, and they should beat Grambling by at least 14.
Listen, I was trying.
And the reason why I say that, is our defense versus that freshman QB. It's
going to be trouble.
It's going to be trouble. And these guys are going to be fired up. You know, people done challenged them and said that they suck now, so they're gonna be extra mad. Crowd's gonna be fired up, bro. It's gonna be good. Now, the only thing that matters, of course, is if we start throwing interceptions, doing stupid stuff, which I don't see happening. It's possible. But
how that song go in Cinderella? It's possible. It's possible. It's possible.
Disney Plus, ladies and gentlemen, Disney Plus.
Go
Disney
check that
Plus.
out. That's the one with Whitney Houston. That's the one with Whitney Houston and and Brandy. Go check that out. Oh, yeah. You might see Rashawn McKay in that, Jake, too. It's possible. All right, I'm done. Hey, hey, listen. So my thing is this, though. This is my thing with Grambling, because it's not the hole. Because you told me, you kind of explained the hole to me, so y'all ain't playing in the hole. Grambling, if I'm Grambling, Rashawn McKay gonna have to beat me. Listen, I'm selling out. I mean, like a black dude marrying a white woman in the NBA. I'm selling out. Do you hear me? You will not. Bishop Bonnet will not beat me today. That's it for me. Rashawn McKay.
People are saying that, right? But see, the thing is, it's not like our wide receivers are coverable, all four of them.
They're real shifty. They're shifty.
Yeah.
They're shifty.
So you're gonna have to play some defense with your secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And our tight ends are pretty good. It's just a matter of getting in the right play at the right time. And as long as Rashawn doesn't telegraph his darn pass, we are right. Our guys, pretty much for the most part, they catch the ball. They had an off day Saturday. That was another thing. I was just like, Chad Hunter, after making that ESPN catch, dropped 2 passes that were right in his hands. Chris Sanders, who normally doesn't drop a ball, dropped a touchdown. Oxendine came off the bench, was wide open, streaking down the field. Rashawn missed him on a pass. That's not going to happen at home too often. So it's just different when the guys are playing at home. And I think, brag is different for people that haven't been there. Huh?
Is X coming back? Is X-Man coming back?
Yeah, he'll be playing this week. It's homecoming. This is his last homecoming, so he's going to definitely play.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how that game goes. I hope, wishing you guys the best. Don't listen.
Sure.
Don't lose. You don't want to watch the channel on Sunday. It's going to be, oh, boy. Brashad, and I know it's going to be, I know whose fault it's going to be. I already know. I don't even got to see the game to know if you lost, whose fault it was.
If we lose, it's got to come down. Our defense has to show up, and we just got to execute, man. That's what it comes down to. Even people trip out on when it comes to timing patterns on our offense, and they look at that and be like, oh, wow, that was great execution. The pass plays, oh, wow, that was great execution. But run plays are also executed very well by the blocking scheme that happens up front. If you go back and even if you look at that Alabama A&M game where Bonnet broke it for that touchdown, look at what happens at the beginning of that play, how everybody had a hat on a hat. And the only guy that had a play was the linebacker from A&M who overran it, and then Bishop ran right by him, and it was a touchdown. Execution.
All right. So, I want to do a recap real quick. Listen. You already know who my statistician is. I don't trust ESPN. I don't trust CBS. I go to my boy BLUEBLOODS. All right. This is from the official stats. The official, Blue don't do them coaches polls. He don't do that. These are the official playoff rankings. All right. Jackson State is ranked 20th. All right. PV has got 46 votes, which puts them at 27. And FAMU received 8 votes, which puts them at 35. Once again, I ask, FAMU's playoff chances.
If you're asking me, it's already slim because you're HBCU. But FAMU just simply has to win out. And
at a high margin, though.
They gotta increase their margin. They can't have the value because perception is everything. So they gotta pass the eye test. When people look at the scores, when they look at the stats, FAMU needs to win by at least 21. They do that, they'll be in good shape.
To me, it goes both ways though. You're winning by 21, and you're keeping teams below 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely.
Like it got to be like, I got to see 14-35. I got to see 14-42s. That's what I'm looking for, FAMU. And I keep listen. And it's once again, it's because of the style of offense you play. You don't have the quarterback who can sling it around the yard, who you trust to give you those easy, quick, those bomb
I'm telling
plays.
you, bro, listen. If we had Olakuden, who's the quarterback at South Dakota, who lost this past week, by the way. He was slated to be our QB this year, and for whatever reason, the whole administration thing with him being in grad school couldn't find a way to get this guy in school and get him enrolled in the program of his choice. FAMU would have been undefeated.
Wow, real talk.
Straight
That's
up.
what happened.
Yep.
And I would have been in there slapping people like Bernie.
Bruh, you don't understand,
State, bro.
We would have beat South Florida. We would have beat Jackson State. We would have beat all those teams. But stuff like that happens. And let me just say, people think that the coach comes in, recruits his players. That's how you have a successful program. A successful program begins with your administration buying into your program, your methodology, and coming into agreement and being on one accord with the AD, with the football coaches, and working together to make it happen. That's the bottom line. Notre Dame could have had several championships there, let some of these guys play for their football team, but because of their standards and because of their admissions committee, they didn't let a few of those athletes come to their school, and they went to go other schools, and then Notre Dame suffered the consequences of not having enough quality athletes to represent their institution.
That's crazy. That's wild. Let me answer this one caller. Not caller, but I don't even know how to pronounce that. All right. Your mama name.
Cross, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, whatever. Listen, you're 20. Okay? You're 20. Listen, stop looking at them other polls. All right. If you don't know who the Blue Bloods is, the guy is damn near the SWAC white Woj. Okay, that's what he is. That he does that. This is what he do. He does this for a living. So I don't want to hear what you're talking about. Talk about some. No, you're not. You're 20. All right, you're 20. Relax. All right. So if you want to get some calls in, the call lines are open.
Foul.
Hey, listen, the call lines are open. All right, go ahead and get your calls in. All right, go ahead and get your calls in. Go ahead and get your calls in. I got a couple people on the line right now. Hey, caller, you live with us? Talk to us. Hey, caller, you live?
You might be mute.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
how you doing? Hey, what's up?
I'm good.
What's your
I'm
name?
Good. I love this show. Hold on 1 second. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I said, what's your name?
My name is Dr. Deborah Grayson.
Oh, shoot, doctor. Okay, doc. What's up, doc?
I love your show. I've been listening to you. I have multiple sclerosis, and you have kept me focused and listening to the scores and your commentary. So thank you for that, number one.
Yes, ma'am.
Number two, I am a Jacksonian. My blood is blue. I am also, when Walter Payton passed a long time ago, I don't know when you were born or if you know when he passed, I actually wrote and spit a original poem at Soldier Field in honor of him. So I just wanted you to know I'm here. I'm listening. I love it. I can't. You make me happy and proud to know that you're doing this show. So I just wanted to call and let you know that.
Oh,
thank you, Doc. Thank you, Dr. Gibbs. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Thank you so
ma'am.
much for the show.
Yes, ma'am. See all you haters out there? I got Dr. Gibson in my corner, man. You better watch. She said, hey, listen, she said, I bleed blue. I got somebody who bleed blue calling in talking about, Scotty, you a real one. You better reckon I have made it. Do you hear me? I've made it. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Hey, what's up? You live? Talk to us.
Hey, what's up, Scotty? It's David from Tallahassee.
Talk to me.
Hey, bro, I got a question for you now. I know we haven't really touched on it too much, but I want to talk about what Tennessee State is doing in the OVC with Eddie George and the recent streak that they're on.
Okay.
Because they're doing it with Grambling's old quarterback, and I know there's a knock on Deion Sanders in terms of talent, but Eddie George pretty much doesn't have the talent level that Deion has yet, and he's still having better success in what seemed to be a better conference. I don't know how true that is, the OVC, but I just wanted to get your take on how they're doing and what Graham couldn't do to make this their old quarterback look good the way Tennessee State has them looking good.
I'm gonna kind of push it over a little bit to Mr. Kofi on the OVC side because I feel like he probably knows a little bit more than I do. But I'm gonna take it the Grambling side, right? I didn't like the offensive coordinator that they hired from the California dude. I didn't think he was all world. I saw his stuff. I YouTubed his stuff. I'm like, this looks like a regular spread to me. But think about this though. You do have Hugh Jackson as your offensive coordinator. He is a quarterback whisperer. You could talk to the Baker Mayfields. Right. You can go back to his days in Oakland at the Oakland Raiders. He is a quarterback whisperer. So what I feel that him and Eddie have probably done is say, hey, this kid can do this very well. He can't really do this very well. Let's kind of stay in this motion for him. So I think that has definitely benefited Hickbottom a lot. I knew he had the arm talent. I knew he can make all the throws, but he was really fidgety in the pocket, right? Really fidgety in the pocket. So I haven't seen a lot of Tennessee State games, but I do know for a fact when you got Hugh Jackson on your side in the back of come on, man, how beneficial is that? It's no different than a DB walking over to Deion and asking, what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? It's the same concept. Right. You walk over to Hugh Jackson. Hey, what did you see here? Oh, I see this. I see this. I see this. So that's my thing. Now, Mr. Kofi, what you got on that one?
I mean, for somebody that didn't watch OVC football, I mean, you basically took the words right out of my mouth. And let me just say, Tennessee State, one of the things that got Mr. Reed fired was the fact that team was pretty talented. They've had some talent for some time, and people felt as though they should have been able to get over the top, that they were in winnable games for some time. Even though the OVC is losing your Eastern Kentuckys, your Jacksonville States, your what's the other school that's going to the other conference? Well, they're losing some teams. Tennessee State has enough 3-star talent to be a formidable foe for anybody. They play a pretty good brand of football. I like what they're doing up there, but I think that it's a shame when they're not maximizing their brand. I think they're misusing it. I think that they would be better off simply joining the SWAC and calling it a day. People in Nashville are used to entertainment. There's other things to do. And the way that Tennessee State would maximize their brand is by bringing their brand to the SWAC, where they'll be able to play against other blue blood HBCU programs. Then they get more press and people will hear about the great job that Eddie George is doing.
Right. I just hope they give Eddie George some more support, man. It's just I don't want them to turn into what's not going to
happen. It's not going to happen right away unless they switch conferences. It's just not. People have other things to do in Nashville. I can go to Opryland. I can go listen to some country music. I can go to a bar. I can go watch the Titans play. I can watch Vanderbilt. I can go travel and go to Knoxville. I can go catch another HBCU game. I can ride down to Atlanta. It's only 4 hours from Atlanta. So I can do all of those things. Not to mention, I just don't think that, just much of Big Blue Nation is basically a little, I would say they have to be frustrated because back in the 70s and 80s, Tennessee State probably had the best traveling fans in all of HBCU football right after Southern.
They had
with Southern. In fact, they had more than Southern because at that time Southern was winning. So Tennessee State's fan base would travel just about anywhere. I remember them coming down to Tallahassee. They bring thousands. Whew. So, all of that whole engagement, all that stuff is gone, bro. It's gone. All right.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
appreciate it, man. I just wanted to switch it up for y'all.
Hey, no, appreciate the call, my boy.
I'd rather watch two dogs mate than you're a pervert. You sitting there watching two dogs mate. Then watch Vanderbilt.
That was funny. Let me see.
I'd rather watch two dogs mate.
Hey, Coach Green, you live. Talk to me.
Watch Vanderbilt.
Oh, all right. What's up, y'all? Good show so far.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Let me speak about Tennessee State since I've been watching them. One of the things you Jackson been doing that Bethune-Cookman should have been doing, they've been utilizing the hell out they tight ends.
I think, well, let me say this though. Let me say this. Let me kind of counteract and to your point with that. Bethune only has their tight end. I don't know who else Tennessee State has. I really don't know. I do know they got, I think I saw that dude. Yeah, yeah, you're right. That I think his name is 88 or 80 something. Like he's big. He's big. That's the one that scored a touchdown. Yeah. He's definitely he's big as crap. But I do know they do have some athletes outside of him. I don't know. I like I said, I don't watch the games all the time. You can probably tell me, but that's all literally Bethune has. Bethune has Kamari Everett in number 5. That's it. But go ahead.
No, they have some receivers, but I'm just saying. You said it a long time ago, so you don't lose like they tell you. But Tennessee State been utilizing their tight end. They got a good running back in Sterling, and that's what been keeping them on their win streak. And then they don't play that fast-paced offense. They slow it down. They use the clock.
Which makes sense. Eddie George is a running back. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he wants to ground and pound. You got one of the top backs in the OVC. So it makes sense. Feed him. You know what I'm saying? You know Eddie George going to want to feed him because he a running back.
Yeah. And that running back been pretty good for a while. So why not feed him?
Facts.
When you got a back like that, hey. But another school that nobody been talking about is Norfolk State.
Hey, this ain't a MEAC. We ain't doing a MEAC breakdown. All right, we jumped on the Tennessee State. The man talked about it. Bring it back to the SWAC.
All right, now let me get back to the SWAC. Mr. Hemingway, I know you're glad y'all ain't playing in the hole.
It wouldn't have mattered. Grambling's not all that good, bro. And let me just say, Grambling's the only thing that saved Grambling against Alabama A&M was the fact that I think that Alabama A&M's protection was off. I think that they underestimated Grambling's rush. And when you play in the hole, you have to also play against the referees. FAMU has a very talented squad. I think people look at that little score of what happened at Alabama A&M and they see what happened with Mississippi Valley, probably thinking that, oh my God, like FAMU is down. FAMU is not freaking down. And if this team comes in and they are focused, they are a darn good team. And that defense is FBS class still. So you're going to have to bring your lunch pail. And I think that Mr. Noah is going to find that out Saturday.
All right, Coach Green, you got a question?
Well, I'm going to say this, though. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to move on to my next question. That defense had always kept Grambling in the game. The thing you're going to have to worry about, which MCKAY going to show up. Because if that defense show up and they score off the turnovers of MCKAY or MCKAY missing who he supposed to hit because of the pressure, because, he don't handle pressure very well, y'all might be in trouble.
Well, it comes down to them putting MCKAY in making the right call for the personnel that's there and just stick with the game plan and they'll be fine. And that's what that is. So blam.
All right. Now this is my other question. If Southern beats Alcorn and wins the Bayou Classic, do that save Rollins' job?
Hell no. Hell no.
Why would you, if Southern is a blue blood HBCU program. It's a blue blood HBCU program. They need to have somebody in that position that's going to give them consistent success because Louisiana is a recruiting hotbed. You already in a town with LSU. You know what you have to do week after week. You're going to have to get somebody in that position that can sell the program. Right now, Jaguar Nation is not sold. And when Jaguar Nation is not sold, that's going to affect your ticket sales. When you affect the ticket sales, you're affecting the economy of Southern University. They need somebody in there that's going to take the program to the next level. At this point, it's a done deal. His body of work has already spoken.
What's up?
He's not ready.
How good of a chance do you think Dooley getting that job since he applied for it before?
All right, I'm going to let you go on this one, but I appreciate the call, Coach Green.
All right, I would say that Dooley has a good chance to get it if he wants it.
My counter out to that,
but
is,
not over Ed Reed.
Listen, if Coach Dooley is in the running with other regular coaches, you take Coach Dooley. All right. If you're not, if Southern's on this high horse, we're not doing the celebrity coach and all that, and Coach Dooley, listen, Southern, you damn near got beat by everybody from Louisiana. Go look at PV's roster. It's Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. The whole team is damn near from the boot. All right. So you got beat with your own team you could have had at Southern, literally. All right. So I think he has it. But if you have a celebrity coach or a celebrity guy wanting that position, you have to go with it, because listen, you got to CEO this thing. All right. Have him CEO it, have him bring his staff in and let him do for what he do. All right.
And I'm going to say, here's a dark horse candidate that has to be considered. And I would say Hugh Jackson.
Yes, absolutely. Man, if you don't get this SU as a celebrity, it's the same thing. And y'all, the powerhouse Southern, we're the power. You have not done anything. All right. You have not done anything but get embarrassed by Alcorn consistently. Now you embarrassed in the spring by UAPB. You got embarrassed by PV, but Southern's the celebrity? No. Southern is not a celebrity. Hell no. Get up. Stop it. Oh my God. You're killing me with that mess. Hey, Mr. Boy, you live. Talk to us.
Hey, let me turn this down. Okay, Mr. Hemingway, you were asking about whether or not that was Peter Boulware at Winston-Salem. That's not him. That Boulware, that's the defense coordinator at Winston-Salem, is a graduate of North Carolina. He was Cornell Maynard's defensive coordinator. They were at Winston-Salem State together. They played for the national championship a few years ago, lost to Valdosta State.
I remember.
When Maynard left and went to Hampton, this guy took over and the program imploded under him. He's a better defensive coordinator than he is a head coach. I really called to talk about that Alcorn Prairie View race. I'm sorry, y'all. This is Prairie View's year. Alcorn is not going to be Prairie View. Okay, yeah. Alcorn is not on Prairie View's level this year. Prairie View's playing defense now. The other thing I want to say to your callers, y'all keep talking about Tennessee State. Tennessee State is irrelevant. Tennessee State is under something called the Weissman decision, which basically it was the legal decision that was handed down by the judicial system. I don't know if it was a federal case or a state case, but anyway, if you ever get a chance, Google Tennessee State and the Weissman decision. And what they tried to do, they tried to gut Tennessee State and basically take all of its HBCU legacy away from them. There are so many Tennessee State people here in Atlanta. I know y'all know that. Let me tell you what they do. They follow behind FAMU. They had a meeting about 4 years ago, told the AD, her name was Teresa Phillips, they told her, they said, listen, we want to play FAMU every year. She gave them that shit-eating grin and went on about her business. She didn't even, that's one of the reasons they forced her out. But if you get a chance, y'all read that Weissman decision. And it came down, I think, in the mid-'80s. That's the reason Dr. Humphreys left Tennessee State and came to FAM. It was because of that Weissman decision. And one of the things a lot of people don't know this, but Tennessee State cannot call themselves an HBCU. They cannot call themselves an HBCU. So Mr. Hemingway is correct. The best thing for Tennessee State is either to go independent or join the SWAC. But I'm going to tell you right now, the people, and the statement you made, Mr. Hemingway, is so correct. Everything starts with the administration. That's why I say all the time, we've got to give President Hudson and that guy, Courtney, whatever his name is, he's the athletic director at Jackson State. They made a genius move when they brought Deion Sanders to Jackson State. But the problem is what you said, that you don't have a buy-in at Tennessee State to be a part of the HBCU thing. They want to play maybe 1 or 2 HBCUs, and then they want to stick. And the other thing about this OVC, the OVC is imploding. The school that you failed to mention that's also leaving the OVC is Austin P. Okay? Jacksonville State is leaving. All of them schools are leaving, and Tennessee State is sitting there wasting their time. I know you got a lot of calls, and I really enjoy. I'm like that lady. You do a great job for us, but I'm just sorry for those Alcorn people. This is the SWAC championship this year is Jackson State hosting Prairie View. Okay, and let me tell you this. I'm gonna close on this. No black schools are going to them white folks FCS playoffs. Y'all can forget that. Ain't no black school going into the FCS playoff. Listen, have a good evening, and enjoyed you, Mr. Hemingway. You made a key statement tonight about the administration, because one of the things I keep telling people, we have a problem at the president's slot and at these faculty reps and these ADs. They are mismanaging our schools, and they are mismanaging our athletic programs. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate it, Mr. Ford. All right. He's a history major. He's one of my history majors.
Gotcha.
Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Hunt, calling from Arizona. I went to Jackson State.
What's up, Mr. Hunt? Talk to me.
I'm looking at how you doing? I joined. I like what you do.
Thank you, sir.
What you're doing. But I joined. So I'm looking at these rankings, right? And Mr. Ford said it. He said they ain't gonna let no black team in there. Do you believe that? That's my first question.
I don't. I really don't. I really don't believe that. Listen, if you put a good enough schedule together, you'll make it. And I think if PV from here on out, if they went out like they did against Southern, even if they lose in the SWAC championship, I do believe, because remember, Jackson State's probably going to be 10. They're going to be 10, 12, or 13. PV might be 24, 23. And let's say you lose to Jackson State and you lose to them by 7 or 10. You're not going to get out. You're not going to get knocked out to 25 for that. When you're going against a top tier team, you're not going to get knocked out to 25 for that. So I do believe PV can see themselves going into the championship. And if FAMU wins out at a heavy margin, I can see them sneaking in at the bottom 25. But FAMU, I'm on the outside because offensively, they don't put up enough points to make a statement. Now, if they shut Bama's out like they did Alabama State and they go 35-0, cool. 28-0, cool. But if you're letting teams score and you're not blowing them out on the back end offensively, I don't think they're going to make it. But go ahead.
Okay, so I'm looking at it this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got Princeton, BMI, Missouri State. Have you watched any of these schools? I watched them this weekend. It's like watching paint dry. Like
man, listen, like if you put any Ivy League school over the SWAC, I'm sorry, I can't agree with it. Now, don't get me wrong, their football is not all world, but it's not bad. But I mean, I don't know.
It's like, okay, so the biggest difference I see is offensive line and quarter play.
Oh yeah. They're right? Big, they're huge.
So, but everywhere else across the board, we would kill them everywhere else. But my thing is, you put these schools, they're not gonna ever get up. I mean, I think it's 16 teams go to the playoffs.
I think it's 20. I think it's 20 to 24. I think it's 20 to 24. Yeah,
I've seen the two different.
I think it's either 20 or 24, something like
that.
Somebody
might sneak in there, but I think they're not gonna let us in the playoffs, man. And I think we need to take we got the premier conference if you look at it. Like everybody's talking about the SWAC. So I feel like if we hone this, we want everybody talking about the SWAC. Like you built the show off the SWAC, which I love that you did. Blue Blood talk about the SWAC. Come on, man.
Sir,
the SWAC is the premier conference right now. I get it's other teams, so let's be serious.
Sir, listen to what you're saying. You said we have the premier conference, not a premier team. You have one of the premier teams, which is Jackson State and FAMU.
I get it, but
you do not have a right? No. Listen, when you have a premier conference, right? You either have the conference of a champion in there, a conference of teams that have been in the playoffs and made runs. The teams that you're talking about have resumes. No team other than Alcorn, FAM, Jackson, they're the only ones that really have a resume. And if they already look down on your conference, that means Alcorn's resume doesn't mean anything to them because you don't beat out of conference teams. So you can't say you have a premier conference when you're only playing people in your conference and beating them. That don't make sense.
Okay, so let's look at it this way, right? Let's flip it. So y'all always say schedule teams. If you were South Dakota and Dion can call and say, hey, let me schedule
Now, realistically, would you schedule that game?
Yes.
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 Your AD wouldn't let you schedule that game.
Why you say that? That don't make no sense.
Wait,
That's gonna bring a whole bunch of press to your school. Everybody's gonna want to see it. Like A&T was gonna play North Dakota State a couple of years ago. Had COVID not occurred, that game would have occurred, and there would have been a ton of eyes because people want to see HBCUs to see exactly where we are and how we match up. You definitely wouldn't turn down that game. And not Dion definitely wouldn't turn that game, knowing that he's recruiting who's he recruiting.
Like
Dion does not have all these. Stop saying. Listen.
No, I mean not 5-star. You know what I mean.
Look, Jackson State fans have an issue when it comes to playing against playoff teams because they've been traumatized so many years playing all these teams that they have such a great year, beat everybody in SWAC, and then they go first round and get beat, and then it just traumatizes them. Look, go through the process of becoming a champion, and you'll become a champion. Even Saban didn't win his first SEC title game, but look at where he is now. You have got to get through and get over playing against the PWIs. It's a part of the process if you're going to get recognized for being a solid program.
It's really for FAM and PV. I mean, for FAM and Alcorn, really, right now.
Hold on. What are we saying? What are we saying? Repeat that.
I'm saying this discussion is not for Jackson State right now.
You made that.
Prairie View. No, I'm saying for other schools, like for FAMU and for all these other schools. You think like them white coaches ain't sitting up there, the white ADs not sitting up there saying, "Oh, we might get beat by HBCU." They're not gonna schedule that game.
Listen, okay, listen. Let me say this, right? It's either one. First of all, if you stay in the FCS conference, right? If you stay in the FCS conference, it shouldn't be like, oh my God, we're so much better than them that we wouldn't play them. No, they might look at you like a Delta State. That's an easy dub, and it's an out of conference win. They might look at you like that because for them, you play. Okay, Jackson State and you guys are either playing down. Like this is what the SWAC does. You either play down or you play too high up. You rarely ever play laterally, right? So if you go to I won't even do North Dakota State. Let's do Sam Houston. Sam Houston's right down the bottom. If you do Sam Houston State and you schedule them, they might look at you as a Mercer. They might look at you how Alabama A&M looks at Mercer, or how Alabama A&M, University of Alabama looks at, playing Georgia Southern or something. They might view you like that, so they'll take that game to say, hey, bring your brand. We'll mollywop you, send you on your way, and it's an out-of-conference win. And it's against the top team in your conference, so it helps my strength of schedule because that's supposed to be your best team, which won the SWAC championship or it's going to win. We just mollywhopped them. Same thing with Incarnate Word. They mollywhopped PV, and that's supposed to be the team in the SWAC championship. You see what I'm saying? So it has to go. You got to look at it both ways. It's not white ADs are not just saying, oh, we're not going to play them because we're scared of them. No, like look at you probably like a Delta State. Like, hell yeah, we'll play you. Bring your band and we'll mollywop you.
I don't know if I see it that way,
okay. But how would you know if y'all don't ever schedule them? Ta-da!
But my thing is, I get that, I understand that, but you got what's the schedule made 3 years out?
Yeah.
So at this point, it's really like we talking about. They looking at Dion's team now saying, should we schedule that? That's what I mean by not like these next 3 years. I get that part.
But sooner or later, listen, my guy, like sooner or later, this is what you're doing. You're looking at it like you're kicking this can down the road, right? Because you're in the situation. If you had always think about it like this, if you had always wanted to play the best people or semi-best people, Dion would be playing a tough schedule right now. Like Grambling. Grambling's schedule, stupid, but they planned for that. You know what I'm saying? Jackson State has never been in this. I don't want to say never. That's not fair. They haven't been in this position for so long. That's why they didn't schedule their schedule like that. You get what I'm saying? Because they thought
that's understandable.
You see what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. So they didn't think they would be in this position. So they were trying to build something to where they got somewhere. And now you're planning out 3 years. That's not how that works. You have to believe in what you're doing. And you're like, okay, for 3 years from now, we should be here. So we're going to start scheduling these teams. But you should always be wanting to see how you measure up against lateral competition, not the Power 5 stuff, against laterally. That's the whole thing. But hey, man, appreciate the call, my boy. All right. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
This is LeBron Mr. Scotty.
Hey, what's up, Levante? Talk to me.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a. It's not a question, but opinion. And I see a lot of people give you hell about Shiloh and the rest of J State. Justin is a good game. I like Justin, but this is a problem. Coach Allen need to bench his son and get a 6'1", 6'2" safety in the back. Get them right guard. Get them out on the right side and get them on the left side. They need to regroup. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Do you agree? Yes or no?
This is a joke, right? Is this a prank call?
No, sir. This is not a prank call. This is the real deal. I'm gonna get credit where credit due.
You went to Valley?
You got your son out there to see your son. Bench your damn son and get your 6'1", 6'2" safety back there. Can help your defense out the front seven. Get rid of that right guard on the end. Get rid of that left guard on the end. And so you can save your son from getting killed. It is what it is.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, I'm going to answer it, but I'm going to let you go at the same time, all right? Appreciate the call, my boy. Hey, I'm not going to disagree, right? So, do I think they could upgrade at that position? I do. But come on, bro. Come on. I wouldn't even listen. If it's like, you got to understand, like, that if I'm Coach Prime, if it was my son, you have to be head and shoulders better than him for me to bench my own son. That's just
people say all that stuff all the time and be like, benching for who? Who's on that squad right now that's better than Shiloh? And if he's that much better than Shiloh, we would have heard about it because Shiloh had stars. So bench him for who? It's just like these people that Tennessee fans are my perfect example of this. Everybody's like, fire Coach Fulmer. Fire Coach Fulmer. He's bad, man. He's ruining the program. Peyton left and everything's just going crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since Coach Fulmer has left the University of Tennessee, how many SEC championship appearances does Tennessee have?
I can't call it.
0. 0. Replace him. Replace him with who?
I mean, that's the I'm saying, like, he would have to be. I mean, he would literally have to be head and shoulders. I mean, just like you couldn't even. But at the same time, then what I would do is move him to a strong safety. I'll just move Shiloh to strong safety and then put him at free safety. So, I mean, and to me, that's where Shiloh should be, is a strong safety. But, teach his own. Last two callers, because I got homework to do. All right, my girls give me the evil eye. I got homework to do. I got to study. All right.
My wife's looking at me too, so 2
all
callers.
right, last 2 callers. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing? I like the show. I just want to tell you that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, SWAC championship. What do you think Alcorn has to do to beat PV, since everyone thinks PV's going to win?
Is that your question?
Yes.
All right, appreciate the call. We're going to answer it. Appreciate the call, my boy.
All right.
Alcorn needs to play good, solid defense. They're going to have to tackle well. And they're going to have to make plays with their offense, obviously, but they can't turn the ball over. I think if they can play a good, solid, clean game and keep the score down, Alcorn has a chance.
No, my thing is simple. No big plays. Like, you can't. You listen. PV is not very methodical when they move down the field, and I want people to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying they can't move down the field. I'm just saying they're not the team that go 4, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 3. They're not that team. They're 3, 4, 5, 25. 3, 5, 7, 10 touchdown. Like, that's how they get down. So you have to keep everything in front of you. Make them earn every single yard. Like, you can't, like, the big play for Jawan is like a snap of a finger. Mullins gets behind you. That boy Hollanday gets behind you. 6 gets out. Like, you like, man, listen, whew, them boys are dangerous. So good defense. And if I'm being honest, Alcorn, your DBs aren't that good. So, I mean, if I'm being fair, they're not. Okay. I'm just saying. So, Hey, Blake, you the last one. Wrap it up for me.
This is Mr. Who Dat. On that NAD, I'm just calling in. Hey, Mr. Kofi, all script, enjoying the call. Hey, I have more of a comment. The first comment is, I love Mr. Ford. I love listening to his breakdown when he called in. But Mr. Ford, my question to you is, and I know you said Prairie View is the real deal this year, but how Prairie View has the weakest schedule in the SWAC. Let's just be honest about that. And a lot of teams haven't really faced pressure and adversity. And one thing, and me being an Alcorn fan, I'm going to give Alcorn that just based on the game that we've seen with UAPB and other games where they choose to fight. My next comment is that I just got through listening to the Fred McNair radio show. And you all gentlemen, I mean, both of you are gentlemen is right. Once the last caller just asked, what do Alcorn have to do to win against Prairie View? One thing I'm going to throw in that they're going to have to do, just like you just said, man, they're going to have to make defensive plays. They offense, but they're going to have to mix and match. And one of the questions I just asked Coach Matt is, does it seem like that our offense have taken a step back? But at the same time, his answer was defensive coaches or coordinators are getting more creative with their schemes and how they're playing our teams. That's my comment. And the other comment I have to say that has nothing to do with this conversation, but has to go back to Saturday, I think, when we talked. Mm-hmm. And it's to everybody in the SWAC that called in all script. Honestly, man, I had to cut it out when women got into it. And it was just when they killed, like, certain things we as SWAC, we choose to separate ourselves. When we start bringing it, and I'm just going to say that ghetto and start calling people out their names and stuff, like, we're taking it too far as people. Like, we like to have fun. This is why you have this show, so we can call in. We make our little jokes. It's a difference between a joke and when we go overboard. And I do enjoy when the women do call in because, yeah, you do need more of them. And a lot of them have more knowledge than a lot of the guys that call in. But that's all that I have to say. And like I said, I do like to call in and joke and try to make things funny. But like you always say, wipe your feet at the door, get them liked up, Mr. Kofi. We appreciate the inside knowledge that you give us. And this ain't one of them funny moments where I'm trying to make everybody laugh. But I have differences with my friend that go to Jackson State and all that stuff like that. But it's not where we're getting out of turn with everything. And I just think that from a lot of reading the comments, and please, people, keep stuff off Facebook. Because if you don't want people to come back and get pissed off at how you comment or how you put things or misspell things or your grammar, and you're supposed to be a college graduate, if you don't want them to come back, keep that stuff off social media. So that's all I have to say. Yeah, you can go on criticize, hate, and I'm out. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate it, Blue.
Yes, sir.
So okay, so call-ons are closed, so don't call in. My thing is this, right? When you're talking about and I hate talking about a game that's not here. That really bothers me. So I'm gonna keep it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real short. I do agree with there in the fact of people are getting more creative and you have to meet that creativity with your creativity. It's just that simple. You can't be stagnant when it comes to offensive play calling, defensive play calling. And what I've really come to see is versatility matters both ends. So having a DN that can play D tackle, having a D tackle that can play D, and having a linebacker that can play safety playing line, just having a guy who knows and can do a lot more. I think that makes a defense very versatile and very exotic as well. But you can speak to anything that you want, Mr. Kofi.
I mean, Alcorn's been there and done that when it comes to playing in championship games and playing in big games. So I don't think that the game will be too big for them. They know what they need to do to win the game. And I think the pressure is going to be on Prairie View to show that they belong. even though they've had such a great year. I mean, this is why you play the games. I've seen it happen time and time again where teams get into games and they haven't been there before, and then all of a sudden they're dealing with the pressure that they're not used to. You know, so we'll see what happens when they do have to face that measure of adversity. So we'll just see it when it happens. But right now, Prairie View is definitely going to be the favorite going into that game.
Definitely, most definitely. Mr. Kofi, I appreciate your time. Please tell your wife I apologize. I did not mean to keep you on the line so long, but thank you as always. Thank you as always. And next time I got you, and we'll see what that FAMU and Grambling game look like.
Absolutely, my brother, man. Thank you. Happy homecoming. Let's go Rattlers.
All right, listen up, guys. I am about to get up here. I gotta start studying, but make sure, all right, before you go, support. All right, HBCU kids, you see the merch. All right, you see the merch. You see what they're doing. All right, Black-owned business. Okay, I bought my shirts. Okay, buy yours. All right, stop being cheap. And spend $27, $28 and support a Black-owned business, okay? Go to HBCU Kid. Go to the website. It's right here. Go to the website. Check this stuff out. Look at that, $25. They got all kind of colors, blue and white, gray and black, purple and gold. That's actually one of my favorites. I got that one at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Gray and black, however you want it, they got it. All right? Real nice shipping. I know the owners. They're really good people. Make sure you go support. All right, please and thank you. And also, if you are tailgating for the Magic City Classic, all right, holla at me. Instagram me. All right, OFFSCRIPT_TV. Twitter me. OFFSCRIPT_TV. Let a brother know. I get hungry at the game. Okay. Can we say that? I get hungry at the game. All right. Holla at your boy. All right. So until next time. Oh, also Wednesday, round table. All right. 7 to 8 o'clock. We're going, me and Blue. We'll have a special guest on there. Wednesday, round table. Thursday, I have a special guest coming in as well. All right. He is a writer for Sports Illustrated as well. I have a writer coming in for that. And on Friday, you know, it's my picks, man. And then Saturday, Magic City Classic. All right. Make sure you get the likes up. There you go. Got you. Wipe your feet when you come in. Come on now. All right. Come on now. Get the likes up. All right. If you haven't became a member, shout out to Levante and shout out to Terrence Ross for becoming members today. Appreciate you guys' support. Make sure you guys all join if you can. All right. Until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.